Well, it's really almost too dark to tell, but the Honda's now gone. I'm going to bring the black van over here and work on it now, see what's wrong with it. We put the Honda aside temporarily. Here I am behind the wheel of the good old 84 Reliant, which is, at least temporarily, our little tugboat car. I'm going to put the van the rest of the way up in the driveway. Haven't got much brakes on this thing, but shouldn't really need them too much. There goes the Keykeeper. Our good old Reliant, one busted down van, and one Keykeeper. And yeah, we just push that thing right up in there. Now we can get it up onto the ramps and start figuring out exactly what went wrong with this. Although we are pretty sure at this point that it's probably the timing chain on this little Chrysler 3.3 that's in the van. You can definitely always depend on your Reliant car tugboat. And we are being careful so as not to break the grill or anything, because I might want to sell some of those parts.
I guess so good.
Oh. The Keykeeper, he's so darn photogenic, and he can burp on command apparently. And there's our high-tech, no expense spared lighting rig. I believe that was $12.99 at AutoZone. So here's the Keykeeper to tell you what we're doing tonight.
Alright, as you can see, we have our mother's 2000 Plymouth
Chrysler Grand Voyager.
Chrysler Plymouth Grand Voyager SE with 3.3 V6 flex fuel front-wheel drive engine. And what's happened is it's jumped time.
That's what we believe to have happened. We're not terribly certain. We know that Bizarre Furhead and our mother were going down the highway, and this is the general area where the timing chain would be on this little motor, back in here someplace most likely. And they heard a loud metallic clanking from this side, which would tell me that the timing chain's practically been guaranteed to either have significant slop or let go. And then the little motor just lost all power, and they pulled over, and it had stalled, is my understanding.
Yeah.
We tried to start the van once. You've seen the video about that. It sounded absolutely horrible. We really haven't been able to get a 100% straight answer, but a lot of people, from people on the Chrysler News Group all the way up to people at our friendly neighborhood Napa store, the majority of opinions have been from the machinist at Napa to people around on the internet and some of you commenters on YouTube that this little engine is a non-interference engine. So unlike the poor and not so beloved Honda that we may or may not be fixing at this point, this little motor shouldn't, if we're lucky, should not have bent any valves or scored any pistons or done anything like that. So hopefully all we'd have to do is to get this little motor back in time. But the thing that we're going to start out by doing, or rather the Keykeeper is going to start out by doing, we're going to get this vehicle up on jack stands, as I think he said, and then we're going to drain all the oil and drop the oil pan, because we've been told that that is how you can determine a rough idea of what kind of shape the timing chain is in. So we're going to put the camera on pause for a little bit and set up that complicated arrangement with our world-class studio lighting here, and we'll be back in a few. The Keykeeper's going in, and he's so worried about whether or not that he's going to come back that he has entrusted me with the key ring of power, at least temporarily. It's also worth noting he is afraid of getting his shirt dirty. Gotta have your priorities straight. Well, if the van wasn't all jacked up when we started, it certainly is now. Hopefully this is the extent of it. You just about missed it. The Keykeeper had a little eruptation again. Almost on cue for the camera shutter, but here he is with an update on what we've destroyed on the van so far.
Okay, I've got the oil drained. That was the first thing we did. And then I started to drain the cooling system, and when I was working on the lower radiator hose, I discovered that bend it makes from the water pump to the radiator, it's got a big split in that elbow at the bottom of the hose. So when we go back together, we're going to have to buy a new hose.
All right. What else are you getting ready to do over here? Let's take our high-tech stage lighting.
I'm getting ready to take this right front wheel off, and then the splash guard off, and then the transaxle inspection cover off.
Yep, we've got access to an all-data set of instructions here about things that we need to do to get this thing ready to have its timing chain worked on should we discover that it's loose. That's one of the things that we're going to work up to, is dropping the oil pan at least slightly to try and look in there on it and see what's going on.
So my assistant, uxwbill, is going to assist me.
Like a good assistant would.
Yes.
So here we are, deeper into the van, not as deep as we've ever been, about the same as we were when we did the water pump and the radiator. Anyway, the Keykeeper is getting ready to drop the oil pan off. He's got his jack in position and all that good stuff. And hopefully it won't be too much longer, and he'll have it done and we can see what the extent of the damage is. There's the oil pan on the bottom of a Chrysler 3.3 liter engine. Keykeeper just finished taking the last of the bolts out. I don't know. Oh, it's down here. There's a mallet down here. There it is right there, a mallet. Give it to me. It's one of the important things about being able to work on cars. You got to know how to hit things. Here we go. Pretty greasy in there. Of course, there's the bottom of the dipstick and the pickup and
right here,
all that good stuff. And there, folks, right there is the timing chain. And I do believe I would not be mistaken to think.
Oh, shit.
Uh-oh.
Oh, shit.
Uh-oh. I think we have had a major breakdown.
What is that?
Spun a bearing, you think?
I don't know.
Definitely not as promising as things once were. Don't know what those pieces are.
All the rod bearings are intact. All the main journals are intact, I believe.
I wonder what that could be.
I doubt it's a piston skirt. Yeah, what I want... Well, after numerous... this is what we've got. Took the oil pan off, and I found a piston head in there.
A skirt? I know.
2 pieces of skirt and a piece of a wrist pin. And if we focus on the oil pan here, and we'll go fishing...
Got some sludge going on.
Pull up some major sludge.
Is that another piece of metal there?
Could be.
So it looks like it may have been more of a disaster than we first thought inside the little motor. And now the Keykeeper is going to go through 3 bars of dial soap for your amusement.
3 16 ounces of hand cleaner. 16 ounce bottle of hand cleaner. Man, I'm going to need something.
Wow.
Let's inspect our engine.
Alrighty. Alright, now this may require both hands to do, and I think it does, but I'm going to try to turn the motor over now, and the Keykeeper is going to watch and see what happens inside there. He thinks the damage is in cylinder number 4.
2.
2, the man says.
Alright, turn it.